Hello, this is Allie with the Perception Trainers, author of the Perception Diet, and today I have with me again my sister because she was so popular last time.
Again.
Yeah, so we had to bring her back. All right, so today we're going to be doing part 1 of 2 in our series on how to find a life that works for you. Okay, so the reason that we wanted to do this series is because we're both freaks and normal life doesn't work for us, right? Okay, so no. It's really more that like we both struggled quite a bit with kind of like finding our place in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, I don't know, like anyone growing up, just like we're all struggling to find our place in the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that a lot of people kind of give up on trying to like find what actually works for them, or they sort of slot themselves into somewhere that sort of works, and then they kind of placate themselves in order to like live there, or they kind of go to the other extreme and they just like completely eject themselves from anything in society and kind of cause themselves problems in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the reason that we wanted to make this video is because both Sam and I have taken like these two extreme routes of like fully ejecting yourself into life and then just trying to cope with it, versus completely, you know, leaving everything and trying to kind of like forge my own way over there, and having both of those things not really work, and then coming back more to like a centered place where we can take what's good in society and what's good in culture and whatever, and use those things, and then find other things and make a life that works. So it's not so black and white, it's more gray.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I guess thinking and brainstorming ways to talk about it, that's mostly what we came to. It's that it was a very difficult road and a long road, and it's still going to get to a place where we're dropping our black and white thinking, because we both just struggled so hard with
this is right,
this is right, that is wrong, this is how it should be, that is not how it should be. And so it's been a really like a long time of just slowly peeling away those layers and like experiences that continue to show us that nothing is black and white, like everything is gray, and that's okay. And like just coming to that conclusion, it feels so much better than living in the black and white, feeling so terrible about every choice that you have labeled like something that you did wrong on your life path.
So basically what she's saying here is like, we used to believe that there was a right way to do life, right? And I think that a lot of people out there really feel like there's a right way to do life, and we don't actually know what that right way is. We're all just super conscious of the fact that we feel like we're doing it wrong. Like we're failing, we're not happy, we're not getting the results we're wanting, like just in general, like maybe we're not getting the results in our career that we're wanting, we're not getting the results in our relationships that we're wanting, we're not happy, there's this like underlying sense of no matter how much I accomplish, I still feel empty. There's this idea that like there are things that I really wish that I could do and that I want to be doing, but I can't because that's wrong and that's bad and that's going to be judged, and that's not what society does, or that's not what my family does, or that's not what academia says I should do, or whatever. Right?
Exactly. Like we all find ways to judge ourselves based on systems that have already that are already existing, that are outside of us. Like we align ourselves to a system, to a certain way of thinking.
Exactly.
And then that is
that's it. So basically what we're saying here is we believe that there is a way of living life for each individual person that works for the collective, right? So it's not that you're saying like, fuck society, I'm gonna go do this other thing. That works for the collective, but also works for the individual. And that this kind of process of really refining who you are and what you have to offer and what feels good for you is a hugely important thing to do for the evolution of society in general. Right? That like it's the people who look at society and say there's problems here, and rather than just saying like whatever, I'm leaving, they say, okay, like how can I express myself, be myself, and improve everything for everybody? So basically we're just gonna start in this part by just talking about our stories and kind of like the two extreme examples that we have of like being born a specific way, right?
Like having very, very strong inclinations, passions,
individual personalities, which everybody has. We're not unique in that, right? Every single person comes onto this planet as an individual, and then basically it's that struggle of like, how do you express your individuality in the culture? How do you find your way in this life that you can make a life that works for you, that's happy, that's not a huge struggle?
How to exist in a life that is from the moment you're born very systematic already.
Exactly.
Very set up for you.
Exactly. So to kind of get started, we were born into like very much like a Western culture, right? We were born into like Christianity. We were born into like blue collar, middle class Canada, which is essentially the same as America. Residential, like you get up, you go to school. We had a stay-at-home mom. Dad went to work. Like I say, Christian values, and security was the thing. Like, go get a job. And I mean, I think the other thing was like, you know, our parents and society in general wanted us to experience things like go do art class, do drama, do cheerleading, do all of these things. But then, you know, like, so like develop yourself as a person, but also get good grades, be a good
have
person.
Enough variety and exploration, but really always be thinking about
where you're
what
going.
You're actually going to do.
Exactly.
Those are hobbies.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was like, you know, these are the expectations of what you need to be doing. You need to have like a steady job. You need to be supporting yourself. You need to have this kind of social life.
Yeah.
You need to have this kind of, you know, mentality about what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong, right? So we kind of grew up, you know, going to school, whatever. And then basically at grade 12 is where our paths, what Sam did and what I did, kind of diverge, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's not entirely true. Like, even from a super early age, like I really bought into the school system. Like, I didn't give a crap about school or half the subjects, but I was told that
this is important.
I'm getting grades, I'm getting, you know, like it matters, so I have to excel and get good grades in the system. And Alyssa, like, she's always been amazingly smart and good at school, but she already, even in grade school, you gave kind of like the minimum effort that you could to get by. You weren't like already so committed to the system. Like, from the get-go was like, I have to get 100% in every class because that's what someone told me to do.
Right.
Like, so even in school, even in grade school, I was always, I'm in school, I have to get 100%.
That's a really good point.
I have to study. Like I spent all my spare time studying. I went to every tutorial every morning because I was just like, obsessed. I'm in school. I have to be good at school. Right. I didn't know why. I didn't even, like I said, care. I knew what my passions were. Yeah. But it was school. I was told I had to do good at school. Yeah. And Alyssa had already seen from a very early age, like, okay, like, I have to do good, but it's not going to be my whole life. Right. Like, screw this.
Definitely. So that was the thing, too. So Sam didn't necessarily know where she was going. Mm-hmm. I didn't necessarily know where I was going. But both of us were saying, okay, Sam was basically saying, I'm going to fully invest myself in the system, even though it doesn't feel good for me. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. It's not interesting. I know who I would like to be and what I would like to do, but I can't because that doesn't fit. But I'm going to invest myself because maybe if I try hard enough and if I work hard enough and if I invest myself enough, something good will come of it.
Yeah, like I didn't even think that far ahead. Going
you
back
just really
to
were
who
like,
I was in grade school, it was just
like
one foot ahead of the other. Like, do the assignment.
This is the thing.
Do the test. Get the grade. I was always just
okay.
Get done what I was supposed to get done. I wasn't even thinking, what does this mean for me? It was just I was told to do good, so I did.
Yeah, where like my mindset was more like I'm the minimum amount invested that you can be to like do good. So like I did well in school. I got good grades. I participated in dance. I participated in theater. I was in all the extracurricular activities. I had a part-time job. Like I was playing. I was in the system. But mentally, I was completely checked out. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So you didn't value it.
No. It wasn't important to me, and everything was just like, how can I just get through this? Yeah. Right. Like I just want to get to the end of this so that this ends. Yeah. And then basically what happened was after high school, Sam went into the university track. right? And then she did a few different diploma programs, working towards a couple different degrees, and then you went right into like a 9-to-5 animation job at a studio, Monday to Friday, like professional track,
Yeah.
right? So again, so she's like committed to the system. Same time, she's like really working on like social relationships because you're supposed to have a good social life.
Going to things just
Cause yeah, like networking and like just like living life the way you're supposed to live it. Like having a stable, secure job, not having any views that are really outside of the norm, right? Like not having any opinions that are outside of the norm. Like really just like amalgamating yourself to whatever was going on with whoever you were with.
Yeah.
That was kind of like your thing, right? And I was like completely checked out totally. Like I was like not participating in the system like at all, to the point where like I systematically like, you know, I couldn't even like hold a regular job because I would just go crazy. So I just like worked at yoga studios, and then eventually I got myself an online job so I don't have to go out into the system. Like I changed my diet, like I'm super spiritual, I'm like meditating all the time, and I'm just like, we moved to Thailand, like this whole thing, like my entire worldview was like eject yourself from the system. Like I wouldn't listen to media, I don't watch TV, I don't participate at all. I didn't even really have friends. Like I just didn't like, I had no real connection to the real world. And that was kind of like my way of trying to rebel from it.
Yeah, actively rejecting.
Exactly.
Like
Absolutely.
We're actively trying to find every way to be different from the norm. Like expecting like no.
Yeah.
I actively dislike that. I'm getting the heck out of here. Like finish school early, just like get out.
Yeah, exactly. So basically what I'm saying here is both of us realized that life didn't feel good for us. Right? We were born into that. We were born realizing that like, okay, this whole system is like not working. Sam basically invested herself in it and tried so hard to like destroy who she really was in order to fit herself into the system, which ended up kind of being very destructive for her.
Yeah.
Whereas I was like, I'm gonna say like, fuck the system. I'm not gonna participate. I'm gonna like heavily judge, because that was the other thing. Like I was super judgmental. Anyone comes and tries to talk to me about like what happened on Saturday Night Live last night, and I'm like, oh my god, right? Like don't, like, you're whatever.
Is that a personal example?
Right? No, just like, but like really, like
care about what Jimmy did.
I know. I was just like, ugh, right? Like I couldn't participate in society at all, and anything that was like normal in society, I just like rebelled against.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, again, I'm eating like a raw foods diet. I'm meditating all the time. I work online. I don't really have friends. I don't have a social structure. I don't watch TV. We lay on the floor. Like we
didn't have furniture.
Like I try not to have possessions. Like I move to the other side of the world. Okay. So basically where this kind of got us, right? So you trying to like really put yourself in the system and just like put your head down and just do it.
Yeah.
Right? Thinking maybe eventually this is gonna work.
Yeah, or I will click. Or, you know, I did it in grade school, and that seemed to work, so just continue to zombie, like, not really thinking about what I wanted for the future, just, like, do what I'm told, basically.
Exactly. So that did not make you happy.
No.
Okay, and here's the other thing, here's the one other thing that I will say, is that neither of us really had very good coping mechanisms for getting us through our lives. Like, we didn't drink, we didn't do drugs, we didn't party, we didn't really have a whole lot of like distractions in our lives to like say like we're having a good time and this is fun. So
or like what I'm doing in my day-to-day is worth it because then I get my, you know, 5 o'clock to to go be with friends, or like possessions are worth it, or going out for dinners is worth it. Like there was nothing that really made it worth it. To participate in the normal day-to-day.
So like she's doing that, and yet she's not having any of these kind of like payoffs of being in the system. I'm not in the system really, and then again I don't have any of the payoffs of being in the system, but I didn't really have any of the payoffs of being not in the system either. Like that it just meant that like I would do my like online work, go shop for my food, you know, make food, and then what? Like I didn't really have anything else going on. Like I wasn't really like exploring who I really was or what I was really interested in.
Adventuring.
My whole world was just about rejecting what was, but it wasn't about actually creating anything or being anything or being anyone. It was really like all about what I wasn't going to be and what I wasn't going to participate in. So both of us ended up being completely miserable, right? So Sam's completely checked into the system, that's not working for her. I'm completely checked out of the system, not working for me. And again, like the system, whatever, like yes, that could totally have been our perspective, right? Like we're simply talking about the system that was what we believed the system to be.
Yeah.
So again, like we're not even saying the system is bad or wrong or that it's good and awesome. We're just saying the way that we were perceiving life and how we had to be and how life was supposed to be really caused like these two different expressions of destroying, like crushing who was really inside, right? So Sam tried to crush herself by just ejecting herself from everything, or by putting herself into everything. Injecting. And I essentially was crushing myself by saying, I'm not actually going to explore who I actually am. I'm just going to say that I think all of this is wrong, and I'm just going to actively not do that stuff. And so both paths led us to like, no, this isn't working either. Right? Like, being in the system isn't working, being out of the system isn't working. We're not actually finding what's going to work for us. We're just doing what we're told or actively not doing what we're told. And that was it. Right? So this is kind of what the end of this video is basically just part one is that, you know, we both looked at the way life was and took these two extreme routes and neither of those routes worked. Right? So how do you actually build a life that works for you? How do you actually find what's going to make you happy? How do you actually find what's going to satisfy you? That's what we're going to talk about in the next video. But for now, I want to hear from you guys. Like, what have you done in a way of like trying to build, what have you done in a way of trying to build a life that works for you, and what has worked and what hasn't? Like, I just want to hear from you. Or like, do you resonate with this story at all? Like, are you someone who's really like tried to force yourself into the system even though you know it doesn't feel good, hoping that someday it's going to make you better or it's going to be awesome? Or are you more like what I did, where you were just like, you know, F all of it, I'm just going to not participate in any of it, and it's not that I'm like not participating in doing things that are making me happy, I was just not participating for the sake of not participating. So I want to hear from you, what's going on with you. And then in part two, we will talk about what we actually have done, how we've kind of like gotten rid of these black and white extremist views and come more into a center place.
And like learning to be okay with that personally and externally.
And so we'll talk about that more in the next video. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. Like, subscribe, follow me on Facebook, Perception Trainers, Instagram, Ali_Perception Trainers, and we'll see you in the next video.